The amount of life in the forests of Central America is truly staggering. Here, species from the north and south intermingle amidst the explosive greenery. A hunting adventure in this part of the world promises to be an experience like no other, an immersion into the jungles of the New World.
I think we're ready to go to the stand now. Welcome to another Bob Folkrad's hunting adventure. You know how many species of whitetail the Safari Club has on their list? I didn't either until I started doing my obsession quest. 9 different species, and that's why we're headed to Campeche, Mexico for the Central American whitetail. It was a tough hunt, but when it was all said and done, we got the whitetail down. And a whitetail is a whitetail, whether I'm hunting him in Central America or whether I'm hunting him in Alberta, Canada, or my favorite state, Pennsylvania. One thing's for sure, a whitetail is a whitetail. So sit back, watch another Bob Folkrad's hunting adventure.
Victor Dodge, Bass Pro Shops, Alamositos Ranch, and Martin Archery present Bob Folkrad's Hunting Adventures. Seven continents, 80 species, a 5-year quest in the making. High adventure, dangerous game, real-world training tips. This is Bob Folkrad's Hunting Adventures.
I'll tell you what, folks, my obsession quest has taken me all over the world. In this particular trip, I'm headed down to Mexico for a Central American whitetail. The Safari Club recognizes 9 different subspecies, and this is my last one I need.
Most people visit the beautiful Yucatan to enjoy the famous coastal resorts and their many attractions. But Bob Folkrad is traveling to the southeast side of the peninsula in the Mexican state of Campeche for a different reason. He will be entering the equally beautiful jungle, writing yet another chapter into the obsession quest.
We have the visit this week of our old friend Bob Folkrad, and he was here last year for oscillated turkey and birds like curassow, peccary, white-lipped peccary, and he said that he was going to come again, so he came back, and we are happy to have him again here. And he was helping us to demonstrate that we have the species, we can recover it. He saw something important in the work we have been doing here around.
Well, we're going to go sight the rifle and make sure it's on. Unbelievable amount of work in 2 years. He's cut shooting lanes. He's planted almost anything that somebody might tell him back in the States that whitetail would like, and it was here. Unfortunately, it was the first year for the deer, so you know they're used to feeding in the jungle. They know what plants at what time of year. Jungle's thick, so we're going to clear a spot to get a good shot at least 50, 75 yards out and make sure the thing is on. I don't know how far the shot's going to be, but if it's on at 75 yards, it'll be on at 100. The rut's been over with for a month. The deer are back into a feeding habit, but the deer seem to be coming to the beans, and they seem to be coming to the corn that he planted.
When we came here 8 years ago to establish this ranch, what we found was a place full of poachers, so we couldn't see animals, maybe in 2-3 days a deer, so we were planning to do something to help animals to come back to these areas. So we have a strategic plan of replanting the big areas, like 1,000 acres of trees of Ramon that is mainly the fruit who eats all the animals in the jungle, since peccaries, small mammals, monkeys, birds, turkeys, curassows, and deer, of course. What we have in La Montaña is jungle, and in some parts we have open fields and clear areas when we put spots of corn sesame, sunflower, sweet potato, plantations for attracting wildlife and just for them. What we did to choose the place exactly to put a tree stand was that we climbed the trees. We tried to take a look over the field and see what open fields we could have from there. So with the man in the tree, we tried to make the lines and with signals and all that. Finally, I think we had the best places.
Carlos is a true individual of being a positive person. Obviously, everything that he's done around here is a positive situation, you know. He didn't know, but he talked to people, and this is what he's created. And the people that's working here, everybody was so nice. Everybody they always had a smile on their face, no matter whether it was 4 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. They couldn't do enough for you. Between Carlos and the people that he's got working for him, it was an absolute pleasure just to be here. Well, it was a great set. We saw some turkeys and a lot of wildlife, a lot of birds and stuff, and we didn't see any deer. They're just coming to pick us up now, so we're gonna go back in, get something to eat, try a new stand. That's something you don't see very often, is a bird sitting on top of a whitetail. I'll be darned, look at that.
Bob Folkrod's Hunting Adventures is brought to you by these fine sponsors: Vortex, Kinatrek, Kufaru, and Buck Fever Synthetics.
For the love of mud, gravel, and trail dust. For the love of farm roads, dirt roads, and no roads. For the love of hunting, fishing, and working the land. For the love of conservation, preservation, and restoration. Introducing Tracker off-road vehicles, designed and built on American soil for kicking up American soil. Tracker Off-Road, built for love of country.
Closed captioning has been provided by Swarovski Optic.
We, at the beginning of this camp, we chose this place because a big fire crosses here, so it was clear all around. But the big surprise about what I'm saying is that 5 months later, we have jungle growing around. So we understood that if we help the jungle and keep out of fires, we'll have the place we need in the world to live. Secret spot.
You know, in hunting the 9 species of whitetail, you know, I try to go with some great outfitters for the obvious reasons. I'm trying to accomplish a TV show. I'm trying to accomplish another species. Everybody could learn from Carlos. I want to tell you, from the smile he has on his face to try to carve out something here in the jungle, created a whitetail adventure. He may never grow the 170 bucks or the 150 bucks, but I guarantee one thing: he will have a whitetail adventure for you to come to. You may come down here on a whitetail adventure and decide that, geez, I enjoyed it so much, you may come back on an oscillated turkey, or vice versa. But I can tell you one thing: when you hunt with a man, he's doing everything in his power to make sure that you have an adventure and you succeed in what you came down for. My hat's off to him. There's a doe down there. It's a little nicer than it was yesterday. At least for me, it was hot yesterday. Wind wasn't hardly moving. Boy, you're just sweat, just sitting in a tree stand. At La Montaña, we have plans for the future. Thinking of animals, we're doing a big plantation, 1 million trees of ramon. The ramon tree is the main supplier of food for all the animals in the jungle. So this year is going to be 1 million trees that we have to plant. And in the next year, the plant is going to be growing. So we're changing from gum tree that also supply the food for animals. So
from now on, we will have a plan for thinking in wildlife, not thinking in the wood the man needs for surviving. We are thinking in animals. That's the difference at La Montagne.
The whitetail is the most widespread deer in the world. Their tremendous genetic diversity and their dietary flexibility have allowed them to colonize a host of very different environments across North America. The debate is far from over, but Safari Club International currently organizes the whitetail into 9 different subspecies. The Central American is the smallest whitetail, with mature bucks rarely exceeding 100 pounds. They prefer drier tropical forests and open savanna to the denser rainforest. The Columbia whitetail is named for the great river system where the deer was once prolific. It is now the rarest of all the subspecies. The Coues form lives in Arizona, New Mexico, and Mexico. This deer's ability to vanish has earned it the nickname the Gray Ghost. Many people consider Coues deer to be the most challenging whitetail to hunt. Larger and more colorful than the Central American, the Mexican whitetail occurs throughout the Mexican states of Tabasco and Chiapas, and northwestern and southwestern Guatemala. The Midwestern whitetail has been able to establish here in force with the conversion of the wide open plains into predator-free agricultural production. The many small farms and the crops they grow now support legendary monster bucks. Stretching from the classic deer country of Pennsylvania to the southern tip of Hudson Bay, the northeastern whitetail thrives amongst the mixed conifer and deciduous forests of this temperate region. The northwestern subspecies has the largest range of all the whitetails. It lives in the many river valleys and dark forests found throughout this varied region that includes everything from the Dakota Badlands to just below the Arctic Circle. Lots of scientific study and sound management has led the southeastern whitetail to enjoy the highest population densities of the species, and southern sportsmen are the beneficiaries with their long hunting seasons. The Texas whitetail has a surprising number of different habitats to choose from throughout its range. Coastal marshes, rolling plains, and oak savanna all host members of this subspecies. From Canada near the Arctic Circle to Peru and Brazil in South America, the whitetail's territory covers more latitude than any other hoofed animal in the world. They are amazing generalists, able to slip into almost any available habitat and a worthy foe for the hunter wherever they are found.
Transportation for all of Bob Folkrod's hunting adventures is provided by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Here's one of the things that I do when I'm traveling. Obviously, you heard me talk about my Pelican gun case that doesn't look like a gun case. You know, it's got fishing stickers onto it. We've covered that before. I got another Pelican case that's it's got a lot of air miles onto it. And then what I've done, whether I'm going at a show or whether I'm going on a hunt, I normally have a firearm with me that I carry for a concealed permit. And what I've done, I've got one that's got a code onto it for my handgun that I put in there. So that's got a lock onto it. That goes into it. I've got the one next to it that holds the knife, flashlight, my clip, you know, my ammo. Great ammo right there just for that. But everything goes into a box. This also gets locked up. I've got my obviously my case for my handgun when I get there. You know, hopefully when they look in there and see the sheriff's badge. You didn't know that, did you, Ted Nugent? You ain't the only one that's got a sheriff. Bradford County deputy sheriff myself, you know. So anyway, that's how I pack everything. Of course, all my clothes and shoes and everything will go into this. Everything goes back into this Pelican case, gets locked up. Also has a lock onto it. So I'm covered all the way around, you know. So gun case that doesn't look like a gun case, and my Pelican case, I feel pretty confident all my gear is going to get there safe and sound. And that, my folks, is the tip of the day. a jungle atmosphere. You know, I knew I needed something like the Thermacell, especially in the morning and evening time, because the mosquitoes would be out. You know, you knew it was going to be hot. You know, I threw Gore-Tex in because just a few weeks before this, I had a big hurricane go through. And Carlos talked about the rainy season, and you know, I didn't know how far that rainy season was going to carry into the hunt. So we brought a little bit of everything. We brought saws and shears, and you know, camouflage, leafy flage, just about anything that we figured that we might need to adapt to whatever situation he was putting me into. We was ready for it. You know, it helped to be down here for the turkeys, so you know, we came with great anticipation, especially for that whitetail, because I couldn't wait to get down here and hunt this whitetail. One thing I didn't anticipate, I guess, was the foggy mornings, the humidity. I mean, it would be, you know, 90 to 100 degrees sometimes during the day, and then in the morning time, the fog, you could cut it with a knife. You know, you throw your rangefinder up and, you know, it read 35 yards, you know, it just, it couldn't get any distance. Whitetail is whitetail. We came down with great expectations and of getting one. And the first couple of days, it seemed like it was going to happen. I mean, we seen a buck that was way out, you know, past my shooting distance. We seen, you know, some does. We seen a little buck and that was in there, and we figured, okay, we're seeing deer every day. That's a good thing. And then we got shut down. I mean, we had 4 days we didn't see a deer. Hot, sitting in stands, and we tried sitting in water holes, and then whatever happened, you know, the magical thing that happens with whitetail, all of a sudden, bingo, you know. We got in a stand, and we had guides sitting in stands to see what they would see. We'd come back that night, and everybody had seen whitetail, you know, and bucks, you know. Everybody was so excited. Oh, you got to set here, you got to set there. I mean, and we did too. So I mean, it just somebody turned that magic light on and said the whitetails are going to move. So, you know, you've been there. I don't care if I'm hunting Pennsylvania or Kansas or Texas, and sometimes you get those days when whatever happened, you think, boy, what's happening? You know, is a rut start, is a rut over, or the food source, or somebody in my territory? In this case, you know, you're thinking mountain lions, you're thinking jaguars, you know, or the people or the poachers close by, you know. So all these things are going through your mind, and then you set a stand, and bingo, everything happens. So. Everything worked out. It's just one thing I learned from being down here, even hunting all 9 species of whitetail. A whitetail is a whitetail. He will adapt, and you need to learn to adapt. Whatever week, whatever month, whatever situation it is, you need to learn to adapt with him.
Wherever you find them, whitetails are extremely adaptable. And wherever you go, a hunter needs to be adaptable as well to have success with these secretive and cagey animals. After several days of glassing and little to show for it, Bob decides to head deeper into the jungle.
Hey, our friend Bob had a challenge, very important, because this deer, as we have it a lot into the jungle, this time we were hunting the deer in open fields, so in tree stands, it's hard to attract the deer to the open field because the predators, of course, they know that the danger is there. So trying to hunt the animal into the jungle, it makes it very challenging. But Bob especially has the patience to do it, considering that we are out of the rut. It's already done, so we did a hard work with that.
It's a bad angle right there. Wait for him a minute.
Bob's patience looks ready to pay off, but the jungle holds many secrets. Find out how it ends when we return.
Okay, here it comes. Here we go.
The Deal of the Week is brought to you by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Check them out at victorcdjr.com.
You all know I get my trucks at Victor Chevrolet, but when it comes to my wife's vehicle, we always shop at Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. I trust them. You should too.
Introducing a boat built on tradition. Delivering a lifetime of fishing adventures. Inspiring the next generation. A boat, motor, and trailer package for everyone. The Bass Tracker Classic. The tradition continues. See it at your nearest Tracker Boats dealer.
After a midday break at the lodge, Bob heads back out into the jungle to his tree stand, overlooking a prime section of the La Montana Ranch. Just like up north, the whitetails are very active toward sunset, and he is eager to see what the evening will reveal.
You wouldn't think that a whitetail, with yay long horns, and they get into 6 points, and I haven't seen an 8 point in the lodge, but I did see some 6s and 4s, and a lot of spikes and heavy duty spikes. So you wouldn't think that a spiked buck could make your old heart pound. But I guess it's, when I'm in Texas, you got something in your mind that you're looking for, and you got something in your mind when you're going to Saskatchewan, and your anticipation of the hunt and expectation of what a deer is going to be. I knew when I came down here, I definitely wasn't going to kill a 170. If I could find a mature deer and take that, I was happy. And when it came out, it was like one of them things that, gosh sakes, there he is.
That's something you don't see very often, is bird sitting on top of a whitetail. I'll be darned, look at that.
He's feeding, he almost gave me the shot, he fed back in, he fed back out again, and we put a lot of hours in. We had 60-some hours in a blind, hunting from the time the sun came up till the sun came down, and heat, and I mean, it wasn't an easy hunt. And when that deer finally stepped out, boom, my old heart started to pound.
Little buck and a doe.
People say, does your heart pound anymore when an animal comes out? Well, I'm gonna tell you, that little spike had me going. I mean, there were lots of reasons. We put in a lot of hours. I needed that species. There he was in front of me. I knew I had to make the shot. It was longer than I anticipated.
There he comes out.
When I came down here, I expected maybe 50 to 100 yards, but Carlos had got some of these cutways cut out clean to 300 yards. That don't mean you have to shoot at him that far, but he is out there quite a ways.
219 yards.
And boy, I really had to get a hold of myself. I had to talk myself through the shot. There was a couple of times I was squeezing, and I had to just let the air out. And I had to get another breath of air.
That could be it right there. No, let it turn just slow.
And then you change angles, and if you're not really playing the game, I mean, your nerves could get the best of you.
Okay, here it comes. Here we go.
Gosh sakes, I wish he'd have went down right there. He went to the right. That's gonna be thick in there. I'll tell you what, we put in a lot of hours for that guy right there. And it may not be a 170, but it's a jungle deer. All right, I knew he didn't go in there very far. Good job, good job. Thank you, my friend, yes. Oh, look at that, what a nice buck. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's a tropical whitetail. In the Safari Club, they call him the Central American whitetail. But whatever it is a whitetail is a whitetail. There's 9 different species the way the Safari Club breaks them down. And right there, my friends, is my 9th species of trophy whitetails. It may not be a 170 like you get up in Saskatchewan, which would be a, a different species, but in my book right there is a trophy whitetail.
For help with all of your hunt booking needs, contact J&M Safaris at jnmsafaris.com. After your successful hunt of a lifetime, contact Wes Good at CanadiStudio.com for the finest taxidermy in the business. Be sure to follow Bob and all his adventures at bobfolkrod.com/TV and facebook.com/bfolkrod. And don't forget to hit the like button.